Hello there guys, I'm Unstable Voltage and today I'm going to be taking a look at a game by the name of TASTEE Lethal Tactics. It's a bit of a strange name, but it does bear some loose tie into the plot. This game came out a couple of days ago on Steam on the 10th of May. I believe it was in early access for a while before then. I heard about this game probably about a week before it actually launched when I got sent a copy by a PR company. So I did receive this copy of the game for free. And the reason it was sent to me is because it was being pitched as an XCOM-like game. Their words, not mine. And I guess to some degree it is. It is a turn-based tactical sort of combat game. It's a little bit different from XCOM in the way that some things work. And for a start, I thought it's actually more like a game by the name of Crooks the Big Heist, which came out about a year ago now. But again, it's slightly different to that in a way as well. It's by a company called Skybox Labs. Most of what they've done before as a developer has been things like the Age of Empires 2 HD remasters and the Age of Mythology remasters and things like that. So mostly remasters. From what I can tell, this is their only sort of original work. So when you first boot the game up, it does throw you straight into the tutorial before you have a chance to do anything else. So you get thrown into this tutorial, and for some reason the game defaults to a really weird setting. So these are the settings. This is the overall settings for the game. So you've essentially got your screen resolution, and like I said, I think it defaults to like 1280 by, I don't even know what it is, 1280 by 800 I think is what it defaults to. And you can pick the graphics quality, the gamma level, full screen on or off, and the music and sound volume level, which half of the time don't even seem to work properly. Anyway, so you have your profile. When I was actually playing before, I was playing on my laptop while I was away from home, and now I'm actually doing it on the PC, and all my stats have reset because it was a separate install, which is a little bit weird. But this is basically the game. Now, there are a couple of different things that you can do. There are mission modes, which are single-player missions. There's 30 of them in all. And as well as each mission having a main objective, there are a number of side objectives that you can also complete. And there is also some multiplayer going on as well. Now, there is a story to it, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the mission mode. I'm going to show you guys what is sort of the intro and the sort of beginning to the story. And then I'll start to show you guys a mission or two and explain the way that the game works. So the basic premise of the game is that it's a turn-based tactical combat game, and you take control of up to 4 mercenaries who are basically participating in a heist. So that's basically the story for the game. But let's go into the mission mode, and hopefully I can show you guys the intro. So the first thing that we're going to do here, I'm not even sure if it's going to start this from scratch again. I seem to remember last time it did, but it hasn't come up with the intros it did before. So we've got this email here, which basically is just information about the current mission. We can go and have a look at our merc roster. As you can see, mercenaries are divided into 4 types. You've got, I can't remember what the types are. You've got the sort of gunmen, you've got snipers, you've got your heavies or your explosive guys, and you've got the shotgun guys. I can't even remember what they are called. And you can also get some different skin options as well. I'm not sure why it's saying buy the blackout skin pack, because I do believe I actually have that as part of the DLC, but you can actually change between some of the skins. So let's just go back out of that. Let's have a look at the mission records. Can't say anything of that because it's saying I haven't completed any. So let's go into the first mission, which is right here at McAllen Plaza. So basically what we've got here is the main mission objective is to seize the money and escape, and then we have 3 bonus objectives, which is no team casualties, complete the game in 12 rounds, which is, well, the mission in 12 rounds, which is basically 12 turns, and blow up the propane tank. So let's go and start the mission. So meet your crew. These are the 4 guys that we've got. I'm not sure why it's not actually going and showing me the intro video anymore. It's probably because I saw it once on the laptop. Now it doesn't want to show me. So basically you've got Linus here. He's our breach guy, so he can break through wooden barriers. We've got the Baron. He has impact grenades. We have Ares. She has the ability to track, so she can see bad guys even after they've gone out of line of sight. And then we've got Denton, who has a flashbang grenade. So we've got to pick our 4 guys. I don't think there's any way to replay the mission We can go ahead and see these guys here and see what they can do, but there doesn't appear to be any way to replay the sort of mission video, which is a little bit of a shame. So we've only got the 4 mercs to choose from, so we're going to pick all 4 of them and ready up. So the reason the game is called Tasty is because it centres around this sort of bar where everybody meets up to plan these heists. So let's go in. So here we go, we've got our objectives: seize the money and escape. And then we've got 3 bonus objectives: no casualties, completing 12 rounds, and blow up the propane tank. So this is the planning phase. So what you're going to notice here, first of all, we need to get to this striped zone. This is where the money is. This is where we actually need to go and capture the money. We can move the camera around. The graphics are actually quite good. For an indie game, it actually looks really, really nice. We can move the camera around in all sorts of angles. We can zoom right in. We can zoom right out. You can see that we've got some of our people in here. There's our sniper, for example. So the graphics are actually not too bad. So we need to get into this stripe zone and make sure at least one person is in there long enough to grab the money. So on the left hand side here, you can see these are our 4 mercenaries. And then on the top right hand corner, you can see that we know of at least one bad guy who is in the area, and that's this guy right here. Now, we can't actually see where he is. We don't know exactly where he is. We just know where he was last seen. Now, the reason that I say that this game is different from XCOM is because in XCOM, both players take it in turns, and you move each of your soldiers, your characters, one at a time, and every action you take is a committal. Once you've moved, that's it. You know, you're committed to that action. And once you've taken your turn, then the enemy take their turn. Now, that's a little bit different in this. It's also the reason it's different to Crooks, although in Crooks the Big Heist, the movement is more similar. So let me show you the way this thing works. So let's start by going here and selecting our gunman. And we can see instantly we have a cone. We have a line of sight cone. So the terrain does play an important part in what we can do. So we know we've got to get over here. Now, this guy could very easily shoot us. If we actually mouse over this guy, and it's very difficult to tell because it's such a lightly ghosted white colour, you might not even notice it on YouTube. But he does have a cone of vision, and you can just sort of see the gaps, the God rays coming out in between the windows where he can see. So let's say we wanted to move forward with our gunman here. So what I can do is I can go and double click, and that will actually set a waypoint. Now, each turn, or each round as they call it, each round is essentially 5 seconds worth of real time. Now, as well as being able to set waypoints, we can actually set multiple waypoints. Now, as you see, the direction we walk in very much affects the direction that our cone of fire faces. Now, you'll see now I've clicked this waypoint here that this area has gone red. And the reason for that is because that would take me longer than 5 seconds to reach. I can't get that far in a single turn. What we can go in is we can go and start deleting some of these waypoints. Now, as well as being able to create these waypoints, you can also do a number of things when you actually get them. So, for example, we can right click on this waypoint and we can say hold on sight. Now, what that will essentially do is it means if we spot the enemy, we will stop moving. Normally what happens is shooting at the enemy is automatic. So whenever you tell one of your mercenaries to move somewhere, they will carry on trying to move there as best as they can, and if they spot an enemy, they will shoot at that enemy. So what we're going to do here is we are going to go into crouch mode at this waypoint, and we are going to go right up to this barrier. Now, if we crouch here, we can't actually see anything. We can't see over these sandbags. So let's go ahead and move that. We won't crouch, but what we will do is go hold on sight, because when you see an enemy, who gets to shoot first is based on a number of things. Are you facing the right direction? Are you moving? If you're moving, it's going to take you longer to aim than if you're standing still. He's also behind cover. Now, one thing we can do, because I don't know where this guy is and what this guy is going to do, I can actually sort of set waypoints for him. Now, it's not going to affect where he goes, but I can sort of try and anticipate what the enemy is going to do, and I'm actually going to try and plan where I think he's going to go. But at the moment, I'm going to leave that blank because I want to show you the interesting mechanic about this game. So we've got our mechanic set here for, we've got our move set here for our gunman. So what I'd like to do here is go and move in my sniper. Now, if I move her here, she's going to be facing the wrong direction. So I'm going to go ahead and use the look option and tell her to look in this direction. What I also then want to do is I'm going to take this guy, who is my heavy, and I'm going to go and tell him to move through here. He can crash through these wooden barriers. The other guys can shoot through them, but he can just crash straight through them. So we're going to get him to crash through and then walk over there. He won't quite make it in a single turn. And this guy over here, this guy is our explosives guy. I'm going to get him to try and work his way around here. Again, he can't do it in a single turn. But what I can do now is, before I actually commit those moves, I can press the spacebar and we'll actually get a preview. So you can actually see where all of my guys are going to go, and you can see the timing. So every time I press space, it will replay the move that I have queued up for all of my mercenaries for the 5 seconds. Now, one thing that you're not seeing there is the enemy move, because we don't know what the enemy's going to do. So the main purpose of being able to preview the move is I can make sure that everyone's going to be in the right place, and if I'm relying on one particular person getting somewhere before anybody else, I can sort of check the timings. Now, the thing that makes this interesting is, once you commit the orders, the same with the preview, as you notice, all of my mercenaries move together at the same time. It doesn't matter what order I queue them up in, they all move together. But what makes it more interesting is, once I actually commit the orders, not only do all my mercenaries move at the same time, but all of the opponent's mercenaries move at the same time as well. So whether you're playing on the single player or whether you're playing multiplayer, you queue up your moves, you plan your move for the next 5 seconds, and your opponent plans their moves for the next 5 seconds, neither of you knowing what the other is going to do. Now, once you've committed the move, any outcomes you're stuck with, there's no way to undo. So I'm going to just say, before I even start this, I am terrible and I'm probably going to get somebody shot. But the main reason I'm doing this is just to show you the way it works. So let's go ahead and click the commit orders button. Now, one thing I have noticed when you click this button, the game does seem to hang for a few seconds, but then it comes up and says the new round results are ready. So we're going to go and click OK and see how it plays out. So we can actually now see, that the bad guy did actually move, and unfortunately he actually managed to get a shot off on us and get us killed, which is something that's not particularly ideal. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and restart this mission. I knew I was going to get killed, because I have done this mission several times before, and that's always the way it works out. So now I'm going to show you a way of doing this a little bit more tactically. So we're going to go back in again to the planning phase. So what we're going to do first of all is we want this guy to go and breach through this wall. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go and send him through there. Now, I also want this guy to go through here. Now, he can't. If I click behind it, he wants to path all the way around, because he can't break through this cover. Now, I know that this cover will get smashed by this guy eventually. So what I need to do is I want to say to this guy, move here through the cover. I'm going to hold down shift and set a waypoint. Now, that tells him to go through directly, but if I hit the space bar, you'll see he walks up to it and stops. And he has to stop because basically he can't go through it until the other guy comes and breaks it, and then he can get through it. So that's what we need to do. So I don't want that waypoint to be quite that far up front, so I'm going to delete that waypoint. I'm going to set you a waypoint here, and then I want you to move around and get over here. And we'll also make sure that while you're over here, you are facing in the right direction, because we want to be able to see if that we're using the cover to our advantage quite a lot here. Now, once you get through there, you want to sort of get over here as well. You're not going to get too far, but that will do. We want to keep our sniper in a relatively safe place. I'm going to sort of keep her in this corner over here, and I'm going to get her to face towards this way as well. A lot of where she can see is blocked by cover, but that is fine. And we also want to try and get this guy down here as quickly as possible. It will take him a little while, but hopefully he will be safe. So if I go ahead now and hit the space bar, we can sort of plan out that move, and you can see that everybody sort of moves into roughly the positions I want them in. Let's go ahead and commit the orders and see if we don't get absolutely everybody killed. Again, the game did hang for a second or two there. So let's go and hit OK. So on that particular turn, nobody got shot by this guy. At the same time, though, we can't actually see where he is. We don't know where that guy is, which is a little bit problematic. So what I want to do is I want to take my guy who is my explosives guy, and I want to sort of move him over here. And what I can do when I get here is I can go and throw my impact grenade. That's his special thing. That's what he can do. Now, he can't actually reach that propane tank because you can see this red circle here near the waypoint. That means the grenade's going to hit the wall and we're going to blow ourselves up. So what we're going to do is we are going to cancel that, and we're actually going to... You can pick the waypoints up. You can left click and move and drag them. So we're going to move the waypoint all the way over here, and then we're going to go and throw this grenade, and we're going to try and do our best to hit that propane tank. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Let's try and move the waypoint forwards a little bit more. And we still can't quite get a hit on it. The wall is just in the way slightly. We don't want to end up getting ourselves shot, so let's move forwards a bit more. Remember, you can't move all the way forwards because you do have the timing issue. So let's go ahead and throw the grenade in there. So now we've got that queued up to go and throw the grenade. If we go and hit the spacebar now, you will see that move plan out. Now, of course, it is quite possible that this guy has actually moved down over here and he could shoot us. We don't know where he is, but I could plan for that if I wanted to. I could click this guy and say, well, let's assume he's there, and let's assume he's going to move down here. Then I can plan that out and see whether or not I would actually be spotted and work out whether or not I would get shot. Now, if I try and commit the orders now, it'll come up and say that not all of my units have received orders. So we don't want to commit to this round. If I hit space to preview, it doesn't matter. So what we're going to do... we'll just let that finish off. And we need to get the rest of our guys to move in position. I think we're going to keep our sniper where she is. What we want to try and do is blind this guy if we can with a flashbang grenade. We don't know if he's even going to still be in there. So let's assume that we take this guy, Denton, and we move him over here. And he has the ability to throw a flashbang grenade. So let's go and throw that flashbang grenade right in here. Now, we don't know where the guy is, but we'll assume that he's in there somewhere. And then with this guy, we will sort of come around to the front and we will get him to look in this direction. He might be able to see something, he might not. And we'll probably leave our sniper maybe where she is just for the time being. So let's go ahead and commit orders. It's still giving me this warning because I haven't given my sniper any orders. So we'll go and commit that. And we will go forwards. Now we can't see the bad guy. In goes the flashbang. Now, we didn't actually manage to get the grenade off that time, so obviously we didn't have enough time to do that. So we're going to start by throwing that grenade right in there, and again, making sure it doesn't hit us. So in we go with the grenade. Now, we don't know whether or not the flashbang actually hit the guy, so we'll move around here. Hopefully we'll see him if he's there. We're also going to move up a little with our sniper. Maybe she gets a better view on things. And then we can also move in with Denton, and hopefully he'll see someone. So let's go ahead and commit the order. We might have even caught the guy with the flashbang grenade. So there we go. The grenade has gone off, and the guy's actually dead. So we managed to kill that guy nicely. So what we want to do now is we need to get into this area to pick up the money. So we're going to move one of our guys into the area. I'm going to have this guy sort of standing on the corner here looking in this direction, because I happen to know what happens on this next part of the game. We are going to move our sniper up to this corner here, and she is going to be looking in this direction. If you give someone a look order, they will always continue to look in the direction that they were looking in before. We also want to try and get this guy over here. It's going to take him a while because he's the furthest away. So let's go ahead and commit those orders. So the new round results are ready. There are no bad guys on the map at the moment. So we are already starting to get the money. We're halfway there. Now, it says you see these glowing orange arrows floating up there. Those signal that enemy reinforcements are inbound, and they're in the next 5 seconds, so stay sharp and get in a good position. Now, I found it really difficult to spot these orange arrows. They're actually here now. They've changed before. Last time I did this, the orange arrows were actually over here on the top. So the reinforcements are coming in from a different direction. So that's quite interesting. So let's make sure that we get this guy around here. That should help to keep him safe. We also want to try and put our sniper maybe in a better position where she would be able to see them. Now, she seems to be going in a little bit of a sort of strange route to get there. Let's go ahead and cancel that. We just want our sniper to... why can't you get up there? Our sniper actually moves really slowly, which is what's problematic for her. So, okay, let's go and cancel that maneuver then. And we'll get our sniper to move over here. And again, she's looking in the wrong direction. She wants to be looking this way. And we also want to then take this guy and sort of get him over here as well. He might be a little bit out in the open there. So let's go and cancel that. And let's go ahead and move him behind these sandbags where he'll be a little bit safer. Make sure he's looking in the right direction as well. Denton can stay there because he needs to finish getting the money. So we'll go and commit the orders. I'm not even going to preview it because I pretty much know where everyone's going to be. So everyone's moving into position. Now, I could have actually done the look before I moved, because what's happened now is we actually walked to the point backwards. So that was a mistake on my part. So we have the money now. We have to get out of here. So we know the two directions the guys are going to come from. At least we think we do. We know they're over here. We can't actually see exactly where they are. We don't really have a good line of sight on them. Let's go and... take you. We could try and throw a grenade over there. I mean, we know roughly where they are, but it's very, very difficult to hit anybody. Let's move you up to here. You should have a relatively safe position. We'll leave our sniper in position. We're going to move you around to the back there, and we're going to take Denton, and we'll also move you... that's a really bad position. We'll move you up to here. You should have some cover. Now, before we do that, we're actually going to get you to look in that direction anyway, and you'll look there as you move. So let's go ahead and commit those orders. Now, we've still only got a small number of rounds to make our escape. Our sniper isn't actually in any cover. There we go. We can actually see somebody there, but our sniper actually got a shot off. So we've got one guy who is dead. I think there's only the one guy left. So we do need... oh, we've actually got another reinforcement coming in over here at the back. So we do need to make sure that we get out of the way there. So let's go and move into slightly better position with you. Now you're looking in the wrong direction there. So we're actually going to go and tell you to look in this direction. Now our sniper could be in a little bit of trouble. Let's go ahead and move you up to here. You might see somebody. Sniper also... we don't want anybody sneaking up behind you, so let's move you around in that direction. And Denton's going to get caught out at the moment. But what we could do, how many turns do we have left? We're on round 7 of 20. So I think what we might do is just sort of run forward. Sometimes that's the best option to do. So let's go ahead and commit our orders. Hopefully we won't get spotted. I think we did see somebody there for a moment. That guy's actually over there. He's heading towards the exit zone. So we know roughly where he is. We just don't think we can really hit him from here. So what we can do is we can start to move forwards with our shotgun guy. We also want him to be looking roughly in that direction as he goes around the corner. Our sniper can move up in this direction. Again, she's facing the wrong way, so we want her to look over here. I need to get Denton out of here, so what I'm going to do with him is I'm going to click on him. I'm going to make sure he's looking in this direction. And I'm also going to say I want you to sprint, and I want you to get over here as quickly as you can. And then who don't I have any orders set for? I don't have any orders set for you. What we could do possibly is move around here and then possibly throw an impact grenade over there in case that's where the guy is. So let's go ahead and commit those orders and see what happens. We've got more and more people coming in. You do get more reinforcements as time goes on. He actually threw a grenade there and killed 2 of my people. So that was a little bit unfortunate. So I actually missed him with my grenade. I had no idea that he was going to do that. That was very, very lucky on his part. I think I'll just move a little bit further forwards with the sniper and get her looking in fact, not from that movement. We want her looking in that direction from this movement. Look in that direction. And you're going to move up around the back. Let's go ahead and commit those orders. I'm probably going to get the entire team killed here, but I'm not going for perfect. I just want to show you guys kind of the way the game works. Now, interestingly, he actually tried to send a shot around that corner there. So he thinks that that's where everyone's coming from. So what I should be able to do is if I move up behind this this guy, we should... oh, let's just delete those waypoints because I put them in a bad place. As you can see, we wouldn't actually see him if we did that. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are looking in this direction. We want to move up to here. We should see this guy and be able to take a shot at him. In the meantime, we'll actually move around this way with our sniper. Let's go and commit those orders. New results are ready. So we can see the guy now. We're actually behind him. Now, we didn't take a shot because Right, we're actually getting shot at by a guy that's over here now. So what you're going to do is you are going to fire a grenade right on top of the guy. And you are going to sprint, and you're going to go and get over here. You are being shot at. You're down to 1 HP, but there's not a lot I can do about that. What we could try and do is, instead of sprinting, we could actually... let's get rid of the sprint, and we'll actually crouch. Then you might not get shot at then. So let's go ahead and commit those orders, just to see what happens. Did actually get killed, but we did kill that guy. So we'll get one of our people out. So you just have to get over there. We'll commit the orders just so we can finish the mission. And we should get there without being shot. So there we go. We did actually escape. Oh, no, we didn't. We actually got shot right at the end. And the good thing with that is you can then actually go and do a replay. So as you can see, I am terrible at this, and I did say I was. So if you do the replay will actually show you the whole mission without any pauses. So you can actually see how the whole thing played out. And you get to see all the enemy's movements as well. So our flashbang grenade didn't hit him, but our frag grenade actually took out the gas tank and killed him as well. A few more things blew up. So we went and got the money. This is the point where they started to drop reinforcements in over here. So we did actually manage to kill one of them with our sniper, which was ideal. But that guy caused us a little bit of a problem. And then we had this guy that sort of came from behind. And in fact, they had a second guy as well. This is what screwed us up. This one guy with the grenade that just sat there spamming grenades at us. Very, very clever to be able to get those grenades around the corner and get a few kills there. So it didn't work out too well for us. So that was a terrible example of how to play a mission in this game. But hopefully it does sort of show you the mechanics of it. And imagine as well playing this in multiplayer. It's a very, very good thing. The thing I like about it is that the turns are basically done at the same time. You never know what your enemy's moves are going to be, but you sort of plan for them. You sort of hope that your enemy is going to do what you expect them to do. So it's a little bit like playing a game of chess where you make all of your moves for the entire game. Well, not for the entire game, but let's say you make 5 seconds worth of moves all at the same time, and so does your opponent, but you don't know what your opponent's moves are going to be, and they don't know what your moves are going to be. And that's something I actually quite like about this game. So you've got the multiplayer element. You've got 30 single-player missions. Like I said, there are a number of different mercenaries, and they may well add more mercenaries later on through DLCs. I don't really know how they're going to do that, but we can't actually see the other mercenaries at the moment. But the other mercs that are in the game, they do actually have sort of different abilities. They all have a special skill. Like Denton has the flashbang. If we were to pick another gunman, he wouldn't have the flashbang. He'd have something slightly different. So they have different stats. There we go. There's actually the names it says. So you have the gunman, you have the shotgunner, you have the bomber, and you have the sniper. So they all have different sort of statistics, but then within each category they all have a different special skill and ability. And as you play through and actually complete missions and not be terrible like I did, you'll unlock more of these mercenaries. And you then have the sort of choice of trying to get the right team together for the right job. And in some senses, it's a little bit like playing Payday, because you have to make sure you have the right combination of skills once you know what you have to do, because you do get mission briefings before the missions. Once you know what you have to do for the mission, then you probably know what the best combination is that you need to take in. Not only that, of course, there are Steam achievements. I have seen that there are achievements for completing a mission using 3 gunmen or 3 bombers or 3 shotgunners or whatever. And there's also like a Steam achievement for completing a mission just using a single mercenary. So there are some interesting things that you can do. So like I said, the game's been out a couple of days now. Currently it is £11 on Steam, which should be around about $15, but there is currently a 35% discount. So it's about £7.50 in the UK, and it's probably going to be around about $10 in the US. So for 30 single-player missions, I actually think it's quite good value. For a indie game, it's not actually all that bad. You know, the sound design's pretty cool. The graphics are not bad at all. I mean, I've seen indie games that are a lot more expensive than this that don't look anywhere near as detailed. And despite the fact that I'm absolutely terrible at it, it is actually pretty fun. And it is a pretty challenging game. I mean, I admit that I didn't play through the XCOM games on the hardest difficulty, but, you know, I'm fairly sort of decent at making my way through XCOM. Yet this game, I just get absolutely mashed. The AI is really, really smart, and if you want some challenge from a tactical game, you really are going to have to put some effort in to be able to try and defeat the AI. I think completing the missions, if you're not bothered about the secondary objectives and you ignore things like the sort of time limit and you just set everybody up in a defensive position, kind of like in XCOM where you just used to sit there and Overwatch for ages, if you're not bothered about time limits and you take your time, they're probably easier to do. But if you're a completionist and you want to do all of the secondary objectives, I think you are going to find this game a real challenge. So this has been TASTEE Lethal Tactics by Skybox Labs. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, goodbye for now.